It's 6:30. I'll call the meeting to order. Let the roll call show that everybody is present and that the town attorney is on the Zoom. And the town attorney, can she make a statement why she's where she is?
Yes, I am zooming from my office because of the weather and the roads here in Orange.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll go ahead and do the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible. So, as we get started, I'm going to change the agenda just slightly. We're going to first start with the public comments on the CUP request by Mr. Singh regarding the Miller's Market. And I will then, after the public comments and the discussion afterwards, then I will follow the agenda. Why I do that just because some public folks are maybe here only for that particular reason, and we don't necessarily need to wait down the middle. I will though take any agenda amendments or that anybody has. So does anybody have anything they want to add to the agenda?
I asked you last night about. We need an update on.
Okay, under the old business, which is L, we will add number 3. Reference to the. Ron, what's the official name of the organization? It keeps changing on. The Mineral Historic Foundation, and we'll ask them for an update as it relates to what's going on as number 3 under old business. Is there anybody else that has anything to add or delete or question?
Into the public hearing for AJ King, and are you gonna go ahead and just vote on that after that so that they can all be done?
Yes, so after the public finishes speaking, it will come to council for discussion and or anything else, and then it will be voted on, and then we'll continue to move through presentation. Okay, so I need, if nobody else has any amendments to the agenda, I'll need a motion to accept the add-on to the old business.
Mr. Mayor, could you also add to the agenda under D, where you have election of vice mayor and committee appointments, the setting of the schedule of meetings?
Yes, thank you very much.
It's on there.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's
I have an
number
older
1.
version.
yeah,
Oh, yeah, it's there.
thank you. With that, a motion to accept. Okay, I second it, and I have a second, and everyone,
Yes,
Becky, Olivia, Ron.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so, somebody took my noisemaker, that's okay. Mr. Singh, I'm gonna open up public comments. Since you're the applicant, you get to be first on the podium, to speak about your project, and, after that, I will dismiss you to sit back down, then we'll take any other public comments as it relates to the CUP. And then I'll give you 5 more minutes to either address anything you hear and or if you forgot something in the first 10 minutes to address it. So please.
Well, first things first, I want to say thank you for everybody here in attending as council and as public. As everybody knows, I have been trying to establish gas on Miller's Market over a year now. And in this time, I have taken Miller's Market from the dumps to where it is now, and I still plan on making the establishment grow. And the town of Mineral is at the forefront of this as well. Over the years, well, since I have taken establishments at Miller's Market, we have grown in multiple areas. This first one right here is the Double D Foundation. Every year we make donations to the foundation in all parts, and they host a memorial for members who have passed in a very tragic car accident. And we continue to do so. And just this last year, Reader's Choice 2023, Miller's Market has been nominated as the #3 convenience store by the Central Virginian, and we are not a convenience store, we are a gas station. And we've also been nominated as the #1 grocery store by the Central Virginian, which is an accomplishment of its own. And we continue to place these accomplishments for the town of Mineral. And I believe since the last meeting, I have placed a petition outside as a large poster. And so far to this day, I have 563 signatures by community members, customers, and residents who live at the town of Mineral. I can pass this around if need be, but this is the petition. 563 signatures. Also,
AJ, not that I want to interrupt you, but do you know how many of those 5 signatures are actually residents in Mineral?
I believe majority of them are, because at the town of Mineral, I believe there are roughly 400 and some residents, if I'm not mistaken. And every one of those residents are customers, and they are all aware of the petition.
Okay.
And I do have some testimonials as well from Rolling Wheels there, since they're not here. Mineral Restaurants, Mr. Besley's and Besley Implements, and JoJo's Superheroes and Pizza. They've all filled out testimonials saying that they stand behind me and what I'm trying to accomplish here. As these meetings have gone by, I believe the conditions that have been put in front of me, I have met all conditions. I've accepted all conditions. And I would like to know why you are in favor or against Miller's Market and us putting in gas pumps, as we are trying to help the town grow. That is all I have to say.
Okay, thank you.
Get him to pass around the petition.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Testimonials.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We're going to get part of the minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah, they should, can we copy these and keep them as part of our?
Absolutely.
Okay.
yeah, we were going to do that. Thank you.
I believe the testimonials are a part of the original copy, but the petition, I brought that in.
Well, thank you, and if you just have the speech, I'll see if there's anybody else from the public that wants to speak as it relates specifically to the CUP. And Mr. Running.
Comments run at 216 Albemarle Avenue, town of Monroe. Again, I come before you stating that we need to be pro-business. We need to be looking out for our citizens. One of the problems we've had, and we've watched this whole thing unfold out on social media, is they said, well, there's a couple gas stations here already. There are a couple gas stations. I have a little bit of institutional memory. When the power plant came in, the volume, there was 5 gas stations in the town of Mineral, 5. Everybody was busy. When construction starts and Amazon gets into high gear, it's going to be like it was when North Anna came in again. My dad had one of the gas stations. Butch Duke had where the express lane is now. Walter and Shorty Johnson had gas. Gibson's Grocery had gas, and Johnny Sacra had gas. Everyone made a living off of their businesses. There's going to be that kind of influx of people. The better we are prepared for it, the better it's going to be for the town, plus the tax revenue that's coming in. Now, someone has mentioned the pumps over at Duke. Well, a lot of people don't know that they're over there, and two, it's not well lit. I don't know about you. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's good, but if I had a family member, I would want them to be able to come someplace that's clean, well lit, and on the main drag where they can be seen if they have to get gas after dark. The other thing is we have a problem, and I've reported it to the highway department. From the fire department, when I was on council, we asked that the barriers be put up to keep people from shortcutting down here at the express lane. And one of them's gotten knocked over, and we've had 2 near misses in the last week. So I went up and spoke to the resident engineer and asked him to replace it. The problem is there is trucks with boats or trailers getting in and getting out of there. It's a bottleneck. This would also give this an opportunity for people to get in, get out with larger vehicles because the U-Haul's already there, and make it more convenient. I just, like I said, pro-business, pro-mineral, not going anywhere. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else that would like to speak about CUP? Hearing.
Wait a minute.
Well,
I'm gonna be a citizen. I'm gonna be a citizen. Okay, I'm speaking on behalf of my husband Snake, my son John, who cannot be here. Either one could not be here tonight. Plus myself. We're all in favor of Miller's putting the gas pumps in. They want to grow their business. They have a right to grow their business, and I don't see any reason why we need, as long as they go by all the regulations set forth by us and by the state. And I'm sure they will do that. They have come in here to Miller's Market and has made it a great place to shop for your groceries. And I see them growing. And they're an asset to our town. And plus, the family is an asset to our town. We thank you, AJ, for everything that you do for our town. We should not stand in their way. I'm afraid that if we don't do this, I'm afraid they might leave us, and we don't need them to leave us. I've talked, well, I'll go, my other part I'll do over here. Thank you. Oh, I'm Rebecca McGee, 714 St. Francis.
I'm not a local resident, but I am here in the community. I'm Shannon Hawkins, 2868 Owens Creek Road. As a 8-year convenience store owner of a gas station myself, gas station country store, like his, small, not a Food Lion or nothing great, huge. Without my gas pumps, I wouldn't have been in business, and you need that draw into to keep him operational for a longer period of time. I think it'll be a great asset for his business as well as the town to have an extra gas station and within the vicinity of right here. I mean, we already have a Family Dollar across the street. I mean, but so I'm in favor of it. Just, yeah, good luck.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Mr. Snyder.
So in my memory, the only purpose that parking lot had has been for Rage to line up. And so the man is paying taxes on land that we like to use. I think we need to do this. The conditional use permit allows us to negotiate things like lighting, things like anything that somebody might find objectionable, but there's nothing objectionable about a business growing and paying more taxes. Someone said, but we've got Johnny's right over here. Johnny's doesn't pay us anything. We need business in the town. And if I'm hauling something big, I can pull into there a lot easier than I can pull in over here.
Thank you, Mr. Snyder. Anybody else?
I have some.
as a citizen.
Oh,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
I have a question first. When are you gonna do the public comments for, in general?
That's what they're doing.
That's what you're doing right now.
Oh, I thought
No, we're doing-
specific to the conditional use
Oh,
permit.
the public, I'm sorry, that'll be later on.
This is-
Okay. It's gonna include something
Right.
in that, but it is relevant.
Yeah.
So I'll try and include that too. Yeah, my name's Chris Gare, I live in town, 80 St. Cecilia Avenue. And yeah, I'm very much in favor of Mr. Singh being able to do what he needs to do to make his business grow and thrive. I used to own a grocery store for 10 years, and I know it's a very hard business. So whatever he needs to do to bring in more business, drive more revenue, and ultimately it's going to be more tax revenue for the town, definitely in favor of it. But my comments are really more that the town is kind of in a, I think, in a tough position tonight because you haven't followed all of the state laws that are required and that should benefit Mr. Singh and the rest of the public in regards to considering his application. State law requires that you place notices of the public hearing in the newspaper for 2 weeks prior to this meeting. That has not been done.
Yes, it was.
I went to the library and I looked at all the newspapers. There was one notice that appeared in December 21st. And that's the only one. I went and looked at every newspaper. There was one notice that appeared December 21st in the newspaper. And there was a notice that said the public hearing was going to take place on January 8th. So the law requires 2 concurrent notices.
Well, I can tell you that was done. I don't know where the notice said, but I made damn sure my instructions were we needed to do it for 2 weeks.
I just went to the library and looked through every single newspaper.
Did you get anything from the CV?
No, we just have the 8th. That's the only one that was published in the newspaper.
I thought.
Yeah.
Say it to me that the lawyer said you did not have to put it back in the papers now.
Exactly, because we changed.
Right. Right.
So the only one that I saw was that one, which.
Yes, this is the one that was
Is
published.
proceeding. Saying that the public hearing should have been the last week, and there was nothing in the last 2 weeks papers, I promise. I get the papers, I have copies at home.
I know it wasn't in the paper, but it's because you didn't have to,
It needs to be in the paper.
but it was
I don't think
done.
it needs to be in the paper. New change in the state law and the papers going, it didn't fit the needs.
Okay, here's the state law.
All right, Catherine.
And in addition to that, tonight's meeting was also convened contrary to state law. So you all are acting, I'm assuming from the agenda, that this is going to be your planning meeting, your organizational meeting for the year. And the state law says that the organizational yearly planning meeting for towns is to be held in July. Unless your code or your charter states otherwise. And the copies for everyone. Your code or charter does not state otherwise. So there are only a few provisions in the state law which allow you to cancel a meeting. So you have signs up, permanent wooden signs that say that your meetings take place on the second Mondays of the month. And it's been on your website for at least a year that your regular meetings take place on the second Sunday of the month. Because Virginia operates as a Dillon rule state, you can only exercise the authority and the powers that are expressly and explicitly granted to you in writing by the state. The state does not provide any authority for you to cancel a regular meeting other than for weather or if you were to show up and you didn't have a quorum. That's it. So you should have met on the 8th. But instead you met today. So I think it's a good thing that you are putting a resolution together that states what your meetings are going to be moving forward. But the state law says that it's in July that you do this. It doesn't negate the fact that you're doing it now, which is a good thing. I mean, better late than never. But you can't schedule a new regular meeting unless you're continuing it from a previous meeting, which you're not. Or if you schedule a special meeting, but this was advertised as a regular meeting. So my point is that Mr. Singh has a tremendous amount of recourse to effectively debate and appeal whatever decision you all make tonight. He'll have 30 days to appeal the decision to the circuit court. And there's a half a dozen state laws have been violated. That I think you easily could make your case. And I say you're stuck between a rock and a hard place because whatever you decide, because of the violations of the law, things are in his favor, which I think they should be. If the town's not following the laws and giving him the rights and giving the citizens the rights of notice, public notice for these things. It's also, I don't know, personally disappointed. A year ago, I took almost this exact same issue to court and spent 4 days in court. And I didn't ask for any money. I was just making a case in equity, which I won because the town did not provide proper notices for a zoning matter very similar to like it is now. So again, you haven't provided the proper notices and having a meeting when you probably shouldn't be. And the result of that case in court, the judge wrote that you all were mandated, he wrote a court order that you were mandated to follow meeting notice requirements. I have a copy of it here of the court order. So it's also plausible to believe that you're violating a court order, which is contempt of court. It's almost identical to what the court listened to and decided, and I won on the merits of what I stated. I didn't do it for money. I didn't sue the town. I did it because the rights were not provided to the public and to the citizens regarding the notice. You're stuck in a rock and a hard place also, I think, because the conditions that Mr. Singh has agreed to and you put in writing are, some of them are very vague and would seem to open them up, could open it up to question or controversy in the future. I think all of which would be in favor of Mr. Singh. The 14th Amendment of the Constitution of the United States provides due process, procedural due process, substantive due process. And what some of that means is that citizens are not supposed to be subject to arbitrary or vague laws. So if there was a question as to how the level of lighting is going to be reduced, Mr. Singh is going to be able to interpret that. I could ask each one of you to write down what you think reducing the level of lighting means. Reduced as to what, compared to what? How it is now?
Yes.
How it will be so reduced as it is to now, and using what as a measurement?
That was
Or
a conversation they had.
okay, then maybe it would say that. 2 pumps, 4 dispensers, 4 dispensers per pump.
2 dispensers per pump, just like the other ones.
Okay, that's a little questionable. Requires the lighting techniques as much as possible. That's certainly completely up to debate. What does as much as possible mean? You have 6 vehicles. Does that include trailers? Trailers probably not. I don't know if trailers is a vehicle.
I wish you had come to the conversation when they had it, you would have had more inside information on.
Well, I'm just commenting on this agreement
Right,
that he's going to go by. That is very less than specific.
right.
Instead of relying on a conversation. You know, if 3 of you leave and the mayor takes a job out of town and it's a year from now that he's finishing up this project, who's going to interpret this and say, this is what was meant when we had a conversation? Also, Miller's Market should be resurfaced. It doesn't say that he has to do that.
That's right. It should.
It should. It doesn't mean he shall or he will.
Exactly. You want to use shall or will if that's what we want.
So I just think whatever you decide, it's gonna be in Mr. Singh's favor because things were not done correctly in terms of the meetings and the notice.
Okay.
And then this,
Made the point that we screwed that up.
yeah.
Okay.
Also, I was in court when you were in court.
Oh, yeah.
You only won half of it.
Yeah.
You only won half of it. You said
Yeah, there
you
were-
won it.
There were
but you didn't win all of
there were
it.
2 counts.
All right.
And I have the order.
So
Thank you.
Yeah, I have the count. You have the order, and the order from the judge was that the town of Mineral
Yes.
was mandated to follow all meeting notice requirements in the
No
future.
doubt we should.
Yep.
Don't we all agree?
Thanks.
Yeah.
So Catherine, I guess when I asked whether we can move it and needed to do anything else, I guess at this point, I'm just going to go ahead and close the public hearing, but also adjourn the meeting and have it continue in 2 weeks. Can I do that? Hear me? Okay.
I don't think you
Sorry.
should.
So you're going to adjourn
The meeting and
the meeting
reconvene
today.
end of the month.
You can do that.
I think we should do it tonight. We're here.
What does?
I got a question.
Yeah.
This isn't,
As the attorney, what do you propose? Given information that you heard.
So if the, were the 2 required notices for the original January 8 meeting posted, Madam Clerk?
Yes,
Was the January 8 meeting also noticed for being continued today?
It was rescheduled.
It was rescheduled, correct?
Yeah.
That was also noticed, Madam Clerk.
yes, just not in the newspaper.
It was in the 3 spots, right? It was on the board outside. It was on the.
It's on the board, on all the doors, on our door, on the sign, Facebook, and as well as our website.
schedule a public hearing to re-advertise that public hearing.
If you'd rather, it would not be a bad idea, given the issue raised by Mr. Gurr, to put that advertisement in and do the advertisement for 2 weeks. Then you address that issue and you have the new matter stated.
I just don't think it's fair for AJ to have to come back.
It's not.
Well,
He's Fredericksburg.
so I guess the question is if the applicant wants us to go forward, is that something that we can do? From a legal point of view, or is that something that we're going to have an issue with?
I think that's something that I might prefer to discuss with council directly.
All right,
Just reschedule.
No.
Can
Can we ask AJ what he wants to do?
no, because the point is, even though AJ, for example, if he wanted to go continue forward, it doesn't mean that another citizen in the town couldn't raise an objection that maybe he or she would have made a comment either for or against, and they didn't have an opportunity because it was rescheduled. I think that's the gist of the conversation about.
The citizenry by not posting it properly.
Right.
It was posted properly.
It was not.
It just wasn't in the paper. You got the information, you didn't have.
Well,
it.
and
I think I raised that question with you.
it's like the county no longer publishes it in the paper at all.
So really, we don't have to publish. it.
Well, I don't know if they did a resolution to that effect or not, but they no longer publish any of their things because from their point of view, since the Central Virginia is not in the same cycle as.
They had published. The town has, I've seen it. Probably the last couple of weeks.
So I'm going to.
Make sure make sure you can get it in the paper twice.
Yeah. So I think what we're gonna do is postpone the meeting until the 5th of February.
Is that our next regular?
Is that, no, the next regular is the 12th.
Also, I don't think we're doing this as an organizational meeting. Because I know
We've always done January, the 9th.
Change the letter. It says when the election changes things, you have an organizational at the next one. My election changed.
Yeah.
If I hadn't been elected, then it wouldn't have changed things, but I did get elected, so it did change things, so it is appropriate. But, I don't know, if I just read that last week.
See, what happened was we used to get elected in May and take office in July.
Yeah.
And so that changed with the last election.
Yep.
So we have to look this
We
up,
have-
but I just happened to read last night just with the flu, but
I think that we should.
I think we should figure this out, do it properly.
Yeah, I agree. So I'm going to go ahead and basically close, I've already closed the public meeting and I'll need a motion to continue this meeting on the 5th of February. And I'll need a second. Yes,
Mr. Mayor, just so that the council is aware, I'm already scheduled for another meeting that evening.
okay, well, understand,
What day of the week is it?
that's a Monday.
Following.
That's our regular, that's our regular
Regular meeting.
Right, we may not do them at the same time because she'll already be here. I know it's 3 weeks, but. Because likely the cup is gonna bring in something we need to ask.
What's council want to do?
I want to do it tonight.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm telling y'all, I wanted to do it. We've had comments, everybody, you know,
and those comments will be captured. It's not like we're going to lose them.
so,
And we haven't finished. I mean, there are people that haven't made their comments.
right, I think keep going.
Council, you're in the driver's seat. I mean.
I make
you
a
guys
motion
just-
that
We need to do this. We need
I
I make a motion that we continue with this now. And do a vote after the public hearing is over with and do a vote
Okay, so there's a motion on the floor from Ms. McGee that she wants to continue the meeting tonight. I will entertain a second from somebody. And not hearing a second, the motion fails for a second. So is there another motion?
Continued meeting on, well.
We don't even have to change. I think that we should just hold our regular February, because then there's no legal
Okay,
gray area.
so I got a motion to continue this meeting in the 12th of February. And I have a second from Ron, and I'll need a vote. Dr. Kohler,
Yes.
Bernice. Blair. Ron,
Yes.
Olivia, Ms. McGee.
No.
Okay, the motion passes. And I'll entertain an adjournment.
So maybe.
Did you, public hearing?
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay, I did.
Thank you.
Couldn't hear you.
Are we gonna close this meeting? Cause this meeting.
No, it's a continuation.
Right, but our monthly meeting, we weren't supposed to reschedule, but what else can we do? We already did.
That's why we're adjourned.
That's why we're adjourning it to continue it on the 12th.
Okay. so this-
We're adjourning everything,
Everything.
the whole meeting tonight?
Getting caboose.
That's ridiculous. We came out and lit the ice for nothing.
We didn't do.
Thank Chris.
Not Chris's fault.
It's not his, we didn't do it.
We got the ball.
can stop. When somebody dies,
motion to
that's
adjourn?
the meeting to be.
That is not appropriate. That is not.
When somebody dies,
Not.
you're not to tell me what's appropriate around here.
Stop. Dr. Cole, yes or no on the adjournment?
Yes.
Bernie. Olivia. Ron.
Yes.
Olivia.
Abstain.
Abstain.
Who made the motion?
Ron made the motion.
Most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
Second.
You practice.